I'm in a silly mood today because I am so happy. I'm here in Oslo, Norway, and it's great. I posted a video blog recently when I was en route to Norway, and people asked me about that experience I had at JFK, if there were protests or if it was a problem there. But no, when I arrived at JFK, there was nothing going on inside the airport. I think all the protest was outside, yeah. But inside, everything was smooth and quiet, and I got to the gate and the plane, and I had my flight, and everything was great. But when I arrived to Norway, the security people stopped me, and they asked me about my work in Norway. And so they took me into a special office and asked me a bunch of questions. And then they called over to the theater where I'm going to work. That's called Theater Manu. And they confirmed, yes, that I was going to be working with them. And they explained the whole thing. And so it was a great relief because they let me go and they released me so I didn't have to go back to America. Well, so now I'm here at my apartment, which is great. And I've unpacked all my things and kind of made it home. This past week, I've been working with a woman by the name of IPEC, and she's a person who I've known for quite some time through Deaf West Theater in California. During the show that I was doing, Cyrano, that was the time when she gave me my sign name, Daniel. And so now she's been teaching me Norwegian Sign Language. And she's been teaching me throughout the week, and I've been learning all these new things. And Norwegian Sign Language and American Sign Language are very, very different, but I'm enjoying every time that she teaches something to me, and I can talk with deaf people here in Norway. So I've been practicing Norwegian Sign Language all week, and on the weekend, two friends of mine that are working with me at Theater Manu took me to a hamburger place here in Norway, and I thought, well, we'll see how this works out because Americans know their hamburgers, right? But I thought, well, let's see what they have here, how it compares here in Norway, and see if it kind of like check off all my boxes and if I'm satisfied. Well, I took one bite and I was really impressed. And the people here in Norway explained the way that things work in Norway in terms of how they source their beef and vegetables is very locally focused. So each city and restaurant locally sources their food, and that reduces the amount of chemicals that are required. And as you know, there are a lot of chemicals in much of the beef in America, and so it makes for a much healthier hamburger. And I loved it and gave my seal of approval. And then we went to a bar that was awesome. It was sort of an arcade bar, and the most popular game there was, let me see, I'm having a finger spelling thing, shuffleboard. Yeah, there was a very long table that was wooden, and there was sand on top of the table, and there are these little discs that you push, and then there had a number of guide numbers that you were trying to push the disc past. Now, I always came in third place because they knew what they were doing, but when it came to the other games, the arcade games, I was always first because I'm a good gamer. Well, then just yesterday, I stayed up all night because at 12:30 at night started an important event. Of course, it was the Super Bowl. American time at 6:30 Eastern time was the time that the Super Bowl started. But for us, it was 12:30 in the morning. I didn't mind, even though the next day was our very first rehearsal for Theater Manu, and we would be getting together for the very first time as a cast. It was an important Super Bowl to watch, right? So I stayed up all night, and I ate Norwegian pizza, which was great. And I was very surprised that TV here was showing American football, the Super Bowl. All of the captions and subtitles were in Norwegian, but I didn't mind. And then the halftime show was great because DPAN TV had this great interpreter with the pink hair, Amber Galloway, and she signed and performed wonderfully. I really enjoyed her interpretation of the Lady Gaga show, and she incorporated the feeling of the music into the translation. I felt really incorporated into the music. I was really thankful for DPAN for doing that. And this is the first time I've watched American football in another country. It was a great experience, and it was worth staying up all night. It was one of the best Super Bowl games ever to date. You've got to agree with that. I was rooting for um, Atlanta, of course, in the beginning, and they were doing great, but then all of a sudden they lost to New England. And I was disappointed, but it didn't matter to me because it was a great game. So I finally got about 4 hours of shut-eye and then took off to the theater, to Theater Manu, for our very first rehearsal as a group, and we talked about the inspiration for the show and what our vision was. And I'm just really excited. We're bonding great, and we're all just very excited. I'm tired, but I'm very, very happy. So, this has just been a short episode about what I've been doing here. From now on, I hope to try to kind of take you on a journey through Oslo and show you what I'm doing and show you the place where I'm working, a theater Manu, a deaf professional theater in Norway. I want to show you what that looks like and our process. I hope you will stay tuned, and I really appreciate you watching. Thank you. I hope you have a great week. Bye bye.